Ready to roll? Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order at 6:33. There is a quorum present. All five members are present. And so is there a motion to enter executive session to discuss protected matters and legal and so seconded, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, no, none opposed, and the motion passes. We enter executive session likewise at 6:33. All right, now we'll wait.
How long is it, the
quiche,
right?
it should be almost ready.
Uh-huh.
Should be all ready.
Okay, so I use the salad at the same time. You see?
All right, I can't hear this.
Oh.
That's it. You can turn the timer off.
All right, we're ready. All right, we're ready to go. I think. All right, everybody, good evening. Good evening, everybody. We are back. We are back from executive session. And during the executive session, the board discussed the liability of an individual unit owner to the association. We made a unanimous decision on that front, and the results will be communicated to the individual in question. That was the only decision item that had to be discussed in executive session. All right, next up is the approval of minutes from 24 July and 14 July. And would anyone like to make the motion to approve the minutes of 24 and 14 July 2025? So moved by Mark. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, passes unanimously, 5-0. We're up with the president's report. I want to devote some of this time here before the other parts to make sure that we get the discussion from Lindman, CA Lindman folks who are on the line. The only thing that I want to precede that for president's report is I remember from a couple of times ago, I asked if people were interested in reconstituting the social committee, and I haven't heard from anybody on that front. So if you're interested in becoming a member of the social committee, it's end of summer, so if you're interested in a fall event or something like that, please do let me know. We can organize a fall or holiday themed event or whatever might work. So if you're interested in that, we need a chair as well as some members, and please just do drop me a note. That being said, we want to interrupt the programming just to honor our guests on the line. So who do we have on the line from our contractor side? If you could just identify yourself and we'll get the conversation going.
Hi, thanks. This is Anthony Velasquez. I'm the project manager for the upcoming window and door replacement.
Okay, thank you.
And hi, I'm Craig Abel, the Vice President of CA Lindman, also with Anthony.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, all right. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
Can't get any sound.
Great. Well, I guess, does anyone have any questions before I give just an update, or do you want me to go ahead and just start with that?
I have a question.
Sure.
So when we agreed to the contract and everything like that, at the time, you told us that we were good without all the likely political things with the Canadian border. And now the change one comes back and it's almost $100,000 And so I just want to know what changed from, hey, we were good at the time when you guys came here and briefed us, and I really appreciate you for that, by the way, it's very informative. And now we have change one because tariffs went into effect, but I thought that we signed the contract prior to tariff impact, and I'd just like you to explain how the tariff impact is now actually impacting, when at the time we were told it would be no impact.
Boys? Didn't have a red line through it, should it?
Caught, caught Mike.
Well, no, what is the one just next to that?
That's video. That's video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
one moment. Was
Please
there,
mute
I don't
yourself.
know.
Please mute.
could everybody please, if you're not from CA Linman, could you please mute yourself so we can get the response? All right, folks, try one more time.
Thank you. Yes, so from what I have here
Copy
on my
your-
notes from that first meeting.
Volume turn up.
Thank you. We talked about it. We said that at the time, obviously, given the current political climate, that we didn't know, it was kind of up in the air, and that at that moment we didn't have anything that was affecting us, and that we would let you guys know once something came up, if it did come up. And so now that it has, obviously, it's my responsibility to let you guys know, as I committed to several months back. And that's what we sent over to you guys via change order 1.
Okay. So essentially, when we agreed to the contract at the time, there was no impacts at the time. Vice, which you said are not you. I'm not, Christian names and all that. So I'm not poking at you. I'm just saying the general thing was, if you sign it now, you're going to avoid the tariff issue. But instead of avoid the tariff issue, we're actually in the issue. And that's just the world we live in today. And hey, that's the way it is. I get that. And that exists for, I think, a lot of companies in the United States right now. So I just wanted that confirmation. I appreciate your time.
Any other board questions, or shall we proceed to the update? All right, you have the floor for your update.
Great, thank you guys. So pretty much what we've been going back and forth on with Molina over the past several months, trying to get everything moving. We basically now have figured out the preliminary drop plan for how we're going to be tackling this project. The goal is to start over on tier, I believe it's T09 and T10 on that side of the building. And we are looking to, the planned mobilization date right now is for September the 8th. The goal obviously is to basically mobilize all of our equipment and, materials and any things that we do have up front that week, and targeting a 9/15 start. So that'd be September 15th. The plan is obviously the first 2 weeks will be our interior protection and precondition survey with photos and the asbestos remediation up front. The material for the windows and doors are supposed to be coming in that first week of October. So, if we start on the 15th, that would basically be right on time for when we can start that, the window and door removal, followed by the actual window and door replacement at those first 2 tiers. We've also discussed with Molina the proposed staging areas in the back lot, and then also on the side of the building near the loading dock. So if there are any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. But that's pretty much what we've got as of right now.
Okay, so hey, Austin, here September 8th start. What's your tripwire for starting on the 8th? Like the week prior, the windows or doors or whatever that you're waiting on to come in. What's the artifact that needs to be all right? It's in the truck, it's shipping, it's on its way here, and that's what starts the clock as far as you starting. Because I just want to make sure that we're not starting and then having to pause right after starting just because we're waiting stuff to come in. So is there a tripwire prior to September 8th that you're monitoring, tracking, or reporting on?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Thank you. And that's the reason why we're looking to start on mobilizing on Monday the 8th versus the week prior. We also are thinking about, not wanting to mobilize, do all the upfront work that we can, get the windows and doors out, and then we're waiting for material. So as of right now, the most recent update that I have is that first week of October, we are planning on getting that material. And that's kind of how we scheduled and sequenced this work so that it would fall right into that. As of right now, I'll pull up the exact dates for you, the exact projected dates. We're looking at basically the last week of September, first week of October. We'll be finishing up the window and door removal. So we will very likely still be, just doing the last little bit of that once the material does come in. And then, of course, if there are, like a 1 or 2 day delay, whatever it might be, we do have that buffer there. So pretty much when we're finishing up is when we expect to have the material in hand.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, what's his name?
Yeah.
Anthony, oh, hi, Anthony. My question is, I'm not sure I completely understand, what does mobilization mean versus the items will be here on the 15th? You'll start doing the basic work on the 15th. On the 8th, what's the mobilization?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So mobilization generally just describes our crews having a presence on site to basically start setting up any staging that we need. So if we're going to have any material and equipment, which we will obviously on site, what we usually like to do is to start kind of closing off and fencing off these areas so that, people don't have access to them. They're not coming in and out. That way there's no need to send notices out to residents to move cars in the back lot, for example. Obviously we're going to be doing this work via swing stages. So we're going to be working on getting all that equipment up onto the roof, making sure that all the power needs are good to go for our access. We're going to start setting that up, making sure the stages are good to go. That way, once that full week is up, we can hit the ground running come the September the 15th. So mobilization, just in a nutshell, is just bringing all of our material and equipment on site and basically getting the building set up to receive everything that we need to hit the ground running and get the job started. Now,
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I guess for people who live in T09, tier 9 and tier 10,
yes.
within those 2 weeks they hear, okay, we'll start doing whatever on their homes or units.
What's the advance notice you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend giving them advance notice, just kind of let them know that they will be seeing gentlemen from our crews. They might be hearing, if they're on the top floor, maybe hearing people walking on the roof, but we'll essentially be setting everything up so that we can start to hang the swing stages over the side of the building. And I would recommend that the notices be sent out to everyone on T09 and T10, just so that they're not surprised when, people are setting up and they're seeing, lifelines and that sort of stuff hanging off the building, and we're getting all set up. But yeah, that's basically that week of the 8th, and then the 15th, they'll actually begin the work. So there will be our crew taking photos, doing their pre-construction surveys, and then the asbestos abatement team will come in that week as well, towards the end of the week, and continue into the following. So I would say just to let them know that there will be a presence directly outside of their unit within the first week of mobilization, and then the week of the 15th, that's when work will actually start.
Thank you.
So what is, hi, my name's Ginger.
Hi, Ginger.
My next question for you is, you say we're gonna get started, so you're gonna, what you said was going into the units to do the survey. You will be going into every unit and taking pictures the week before?
No, so
I'm trying to get the day in the life of a unit owner. How many
Sure.
times or over what duration of time will be having people in people's units?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you have people going and doing surveys, you're talking about abatement, then you talked about window removal before the windows even show up on site. Like, are people gonna have, like, what's the time between the window getting removed and the window getting installed?
Yeah, so the goal I believe is to have the windows and doors being removed and installed within the same day, if not within a couple of days after. I'll verify that with with High-Rise.
I think it's the same day. It's the same day.
Yes,
Okay, because when you said the removal would be done, then the windows would arrive, panicked me.
Yeah,
I
so-
actually heard that as well, ma'am. And, yeah, the same crew that's removing the windows will be installing the new windows. So
Okay,
windows
let's
will-
watch our verbiage because we're freaking people out.
Yes, and then as far as the actual precondition survey, that's something that we have to do before we begin any type of work at any areas. So the idea is that it'll just be over the course of 1 to 2 days. We'll have our foreman out there taking a precondition survey of all the units that will be worked on. Most of this will be from the exterior, but there may be some pictures that need to be taken from the interior. Again, this is just for the areas that are affected with the window and door removal, and also the asbestos abatement as well.
So you're only specifically talking about the schedule for tier 9 and 10.
That's correct.
So we're gonna have like a 2-tier schedule how long is 2 tiers gonna take roughly?
Well, it varies. Some tiers obviously have more windows and more doors than others, the way that it's been split up. We've submitted the drop schedule to you guys. If you don't have it, I can resubmit it again or have
Do you have it?
Melina send that over to you.
Wait, do you have it, Melina?
I'm trying to get Chris on the call, so I wasn't listening to Anthony. What is it that you're?
The drop schedule
Yes,
by tier.
yes.
What is-
No, I don't have that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we need that then, Ann.
we need it.
Okay.
I'll resubmit that to you guys. So essentially, different tiers in different areas are going to be having a different number of windows and doors. So right now it varies from 28 working days for T09 and T10, let's say, and then the schedule for T11, since that's a smaller tier there, that one we estimate that it would only take about 16 working days compared to the 28 working days for the much larger area. So it'll vary, but I would say just factor in anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, depending on average, depending on the size of the group that's being worked on. And again, you'll have an exact duration per tier, per drop, essentially, along with that drop schedule. I'll go ahead and forward that to Melina now, so she has it if she wants to pull it up. But yes, every single tier has a different duration, but on average, if you want to just kind of, have something, it would be around 3 to 4 weeks roughly.
So per tier, you have a phase, you do the same thing over and over and over again. You're gonna do
Correct.
the survey, abatement, then the removal replacement over and over again as you drop. And when you say the drop, so are we starting on 16 and going to 1? Or are we starting on 1 and going up to 16?
Correct. We typically start at the top and go down.
Okay, thank you.
So I got a couple questions here. You said 3 to 4 weeks, but if I take all the tiers and I do the math, that's 45 weeks. And we have this project completing right now with your current pay schedule at the end of March. I'm no
Yeah.
mathematician, but that ain't 45 weeks.
Yeah, and I think if you're taking the average 3 to 4 weeks and multiplying it by that, you're going to get longer than it actually is. I'm resubmitting the schedule and the drop plan now, so you can actually see how it's broken out. But it works out to basically us finishing out at the end of March.
Okay, so I just want to walk this back again, and sorry, Anthony, but I'm a stickler for precision. So September 8th is your expectation to establish a laydown area here. And then your expectation for actually starting actual window and door replacement and stuff is 2 weeks after that. And are we expecting the windows and doors to arrive somewhere in between those 2 dates?
I'm not sure I quite understood your question, so I'll try to answer it the best I can. Essentially, what we're doing is that first week is the mobilization, as you said, and then the first 2-ish weeks are going to be the precondition survey, and asbestos remediation, and the interior protection setup as well. So before we are finished with that and beginning to remove the windows, that is when we anticipate, as of the latest update from the supplier, that we will be getting the windows and doors.
What I'm asking for is, are we guaranteed from the supplier that they're gonna be there before you're ready to go? Or actually not even be there, but be here before you're ready to go start actually doing it?
Hey, well, one thing I'd like to clarify, the windows are coming from New York, and the sliding doors are coming from Canada. So the windows are actually gonna come in first. We've been told that with reasonable confidence, those are shipping from New York, which is about a 4.5, 5 hour truck ride. So the windows are what we're gonna start with first, and then I think the week after that is when the doors are gonna come in.
So now you're just welcoming more questions. So is there an expectation that we're gonna replace windows and units and then at a different time, replace the doors?
That's not, no, we will stay on the drop until the drop is done. The
Yeah,
doors
I know
are-
you're gonna stay on the job till the job's done, otherwise we're not gonna pay you. My
the drop.
question is,
The
are you
drop.
gonna go into a unit and you're gonna replace what needs to be replaced at the same time, or are you gonna have to go back in the unit and replace a second component?
We're gonna start on the windows and then do the doors, and the balconies have a door and a window adjacent to it. There's also work with the flashing and the brickwork beside the sliding door. So at the same time the windows are going in, we're gonna be doing the window work and the brickwork adjacent to the doors, and then the doors will go in right after that.
How soon?
I'm a Marine, I'm sorry, so I'm very simplistic in crayons and all that stuff, so it's just a yes or no. Are you gonna go to unit twice, or are you gonna go to unit once?
I would say twice, the windows and then the doors will come in after that.
And what's the gap between 1 and 2? Is it a day, is it hours, or is it a week? And if it's that excess of a week, we have a problem.
I would say within a week, and if we can't do it, if you want us to not do the windows until we know the doors are right behind it, then that's what we'll do. It is gonna be the first drop. There's always gonna be a learning curve. And as soon as we get all the windows and through the learning curve, it will go smoothly like clockwork.
Yes, that's the end, that's nirvana, right? So what can we plan for having windows and doors on site before we actually start? And that way we're quicker to get into nirvana instead of learning lessons throughout the entire project. So can we build a plan where there's doors and windows for tier 9 and tier 10 here on site prior to actually pulling windows and doors out of tier 9 and tier 10?
Correct. Yeah, we are not gonna pull windows and doors until the windows and doors are on site. All we're gonna do is mobilize, and our abatement crew has to take the transom panels out, which that's what Anthony's laid out for the first 2 to 3 weeks. And then the windows will come in and the doors will come in the first week of October.
Well, might I ask, I think what I'm getting that Kyle is driving to is, and the language really matters here, which is, I understand, this is Tom, by the way. I understand that you're not gonna replace windows until windows come in, and you're not gonna replace doors until doors come in. But I think it's a both and question that Kyle is driving at, which is, are we gonna not start until we have the complete set of things for a given tier? Or is what I'm hearing that you're just gonna, it's like, what I'm hearing a little bit more is like, it's like streaming an audio. It's like, you're just gonna hope the tape doesn't run out before you stop listening.
I'm so worried about the preparatory phase, because what I heard earlier on in the conversation was you're gonna come in and do your survey, so you're coming into my unit to do the survey, and then you're gonna do prep work, which might be some abating, so that may be another day that you come into somebody's unit. And then there's gonna be another day that you come in to do the, I think you said like protecting, I forget what word you used, but basically it sounded like you were gonna put down the plastic or whatever to protect stuff. Then the windows. So I guess what we would like to know, and if you don't have it today, just say so, and then tell us when you have it. What is a typical unit? Pick the smallest one, I don't really care. But the time that how many visits into a unit, and how long is somebody gonna have to be prepared to have people in and out of their unit, or have, we have pets, we have other things we have to deal with here. We're trying to figure out what is the period of time, and will it be a Monday to Friday scheme, or will it be a Wednesday to Wednesday scheme? Are we gonna have a weekend where we have our stuff all askew and have to have our furniture out of place or whatever? We're just trying to understand the impact on a typical take a small unit for all I care, but what's the number of, days kind of situation? I hope I'm asking my question clearly.
That was my question too, which is how long are we,
Yeah.
how long does a unit owner live in the prep environment?
And,
Prep and
and
completion.
That's a great
prep-
question.
Prep through completion.
So at the first meeting, what we said is prior to the windows being replaced, we want things pulled off the wall about 3 or 4 feet. So that's number one. When that happens is halfway.
Say that
in-
again, please. I'm sorry.
3 or 4 feet away from the windows and doors, clear.
How many days ahead of time?
I was
before they
getting
start
to
work.
that. So
Oh, okay.
we're gonna mobilize, all of our work is gonna be on the outside for the first, say, 2 weeks. Where we're gonna mobilize our swing stage equipment and we're gonna block off the doors because when swing stages are going up and down, we can't have people on their balconies for safety concerns. The first inspection is just a 5-minute visual where we're gonna go into the unit, where we're gonna take photos. That's required by our contract just to make sure things, we document the interior conditions. So that's a very unintrusive trip. So the first couple weeks we'll be mobilizing our equipment and then we'll start to take the transom panels out. The transom panels are going to come out from the outside and be carried down on our swing stages. So we won't be inside for that either.
But we
Then-
will have to have stopped using our patio during that time frame because you're gonna be on the patio doing work. And if we have furniture on our patio, we'll have to have it out of your way.
Correct. Any patio on the drop would be the same as the balconies. We would expect stuff to be moved off them or off to the side at least. And yeah, wherever we are on that drop, everything from top to bottom shall be, should be moved. So that'll be pretty much September. And then when the windows come in the first week of October, that's when we'll actually schedule the exact window replacements and door replacements. So that's when on the day we're replacing the windows, and I think we're planning on doing 3 or 4 per day, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Is that right, Anthony?
That's correct.
3 or 4 units or 3 or 4 windows?
3 or 4 3 or 4 floors on each
3, okay,
drop.
so that would be units. That's fine.
Correct.
Okay.
So if that's a window drop and the windows are in the bedrooms, it would basically be 4 floors of bedrooms on both swing stages. So that's when our crews would go in, put the temporary protection up. The window contractor will do the removal from the outside, but we'll also be working from the inside to clean up number one and to start the trim once the window is replaced. So it'll be the window contractor and us working in sequence on those floors, and then we'll go down the drop over that week. And then our plan was to come back and do the doors the following week.
So, okay, so you're gonna come in and you're gonna go and you're gonna remove the transoms and you're gonna come back the following week and start the window and door replacement. But when you remove the transoms, the unit is open to the outside elements. So, and you mentioned a temporary protection barrier. What's the expectation of that? Is just plywood thrown up and off we go? And I'm good with, yes and no answers, but, I'm just trying to figure out the timeline, because it seems like it's kind of wonky right now.
So the answer to that is yes. We'll just put a plywood because behind the transoms in most cases are a duct chase.
Yeah, it's a duct bank, yeah.
chase.
Yeah. Okay, so your expectation is you're gonna do lay down and September 8th, 2 weeks later, you're gonna actually start removing and doing asbestos abatement. In between then, you're gonna do your surveys and your pictures and all those things, okay? And then 2 weeks after, you're gonna start removing all the asbestos transoms and get those done in order to prepare for windows and doors to go in the first week of October. Did I get that right?
I think the expectation is to start the transom removal on the 15th or so, and then the windows come in the 1st of October.
This isn't a possible thing to do without a plan in front of us.
Yeah, that's really what it's.
Well,
I would just like to
what
have
I would suggest is
Wait.
We'll
We need a
give
writ-
you a day-by-day blow for the first tier, as we get used to a sequence.
We definitely need, and I know you said you sent it to Melina and we'll get it right after this meeting, but we need to understand, especially that first tier, like a day by day blow, what's gonna happen.
And week by week.
And then, you know, week by week, whatever, but we need to really understand this. I think we're trying to all do this in our heads. And we're really wanting to understand the impact to each unit. How often and how
How do we manage expectations?
do we manage expectations? How, you know, when they have to get all their blinds down, when do they have to move their furniture away from the windows? When do they have to move the furniture on their patios or their other, you know, whatever, their balconies? We just are trying to understand all these schedules and expectations and things with predecessors and successors and things like that, so that we can set expectations, for tier 9 and tier 10.
There's also the issue of the transom. I mean, if we take the transoms out, we can't just leave it open.
He said,
We're gonna just plywood it.
that's what I said.
Yeah,
I can't imagine a
Actually,
writing
will.
work at that time.
well, yeah. Just a moment. Anybody else on the board have a question at this time? And so I'm gonna ask the board's permission, just because I think it makes logical flow, to go a little bit out of order on the agenda for a moment, just hopefully in the interest of efficiency. And I'm gonna get to open forum in a moment, but the first thing I just want to get out of the way is, if you guys are able to see video, I'm holding up the piece of mortar that, you know, I think you had asked us for some sort of approval. I guess what our view is, you know, can't we just say, you know, match it to what we already have is kind of our decision on this? I don't, is that enough to just say, do that?
So it's Flamingo C081.
Flamenco Z,
Flamingo,
Yes, I can answer. Yeah, I can answer
Okay.
that. We had submitted the Flamingo C81 is the color code for the mortar match, and then for the brick, the Continental 488 from Potomac Valley Brick. That's obviously I've explained this to Melina previously. That's basically what we've been doing when we've done the small, the small AC unit work where we have to take out brick and reinstall. It's the same brick that we've been installing for I think the past, I don't know, 15
Years, yeah.
years that we've been working on there. So we're just going to be
Okay.
using the same exact one. That was more just for record is what we
Okay.
sent. And then just you have something official that you can point to. This is the exact color match and the exact brick and the
Oh.
exact mortar. And then that was just something, so you have something physical on site if you
Okay.
wanted to show the board tonight.
okay, is it the sense of the board then if these have been being used in our building for 15 years, then just keep on keeping on? I mean, I appreciate it. I thought you would bake me some cookies, but, you know, these mortar samples seem good to us. Is that the answer?
Yeah, so I'm okay with mortar samples, but like you're having professional people put these things in. So as they're there mixing it, if they need to, you know, drop something darker into it to make it match, I don't want to be locked into this. If you look around and if you ever, and Anthony and you guys, you're welcome to, by the way, but if you haven't ever floated around in our pool and just looked up and seen all the freaking AC units that have been replaced, there's a myriad of colors in mortar. So all I'd ask is like, you give your Mason people the free reign to make it match while they're on site.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be on each drop where we're gonna be doing all, every floor of the building. And there'll be time for TDL to inspect all things for quality. And before we move, we will do a final punch list inspection to inspect all mortar, all caulk, everything. And we won't move until that drop is done. That's the way the
Sweet.
work
So-
goes.
That's awesome. Also, this project is gonna conclude in March. Our pool doesn't open till May, but we'll invite you back for a pool party and you guys can appreciate your work.
That would be great.
Yeah, we'll have some bets for you.
All right. All right. And then also just with the indulgence of the board, I would like to move owners forum up now. I would like to ask if owners could restrict this first open forum to questions that are specifically about the window project, so that way we can respect the time of the folks who have come to visit us. But Kyle, you have something
I have
first.
one more question
Go
for
ahead.
them.
Yep.
So, reading our residents, relations stuff that Melina takes care of as our general manager. There's one thing that with the roll-off container, you guys are gonna have to dispose of all the things within the project. But explicitly, we've been advised that nothing will be available for the residents to use. And I'm completely fine with that, but whose responsibility is to restrict that? Because every time we have a dumpster out here for anything, I'm not telling you just our building, but every building around here, they're using that dumpster. And so is it on us to restrict that, or is it on you to restrict that? Because if it's on us, oh, all right, we're having a different discussion, but if
It's
we have
not
to
on
use-
you.
Okay, so how are you gonna walk me through how you're gonna prevent external dumping into the dumpster, which you need to use for the project? You put a lock on it, is there a cover on it? Cause people are gonna use it if it's there. There's a lot of stuff that's gotten thrown in our dumpster. Last couple times, we've done like a spring clean out or a fall clean out. That thing fills up in hours.
If we have to fence it in, we will. Of course, we've been working in this area for 30 years. We work in the county, the city, and there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. I'll be honest, I really didn't expect our dumpsters and our staging area to be a dumping zone for your residents, but I get it. People find them and they use them. So if we need to cover it, or if we need to fence in our area, then that's something we'll take care of, and it's not your responsibility. Our goal is to recycle as much as possible, is to fill them with the aluminum and the glass, and to get them out of there and recycled, so they shouldn't be left empty for long, because we want this project to move along smoothly.
No, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And we're all about recycling, so that's good too. I'm just, I need you guys to think, I appreciate, one, your willingness, but two, also to think about how we're going to minimize other people's ability outside of this association, like Canterbury and other people, like they fill up our dumpsters every time we have them. And so we just need to make sure we're protecting it, to make sure you don't get delayed in your project because we can't protect the thing. But also, I just want to identify who's responsible for that. You said you guys, so I'm good. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, let's go ahead and open forum. I know Hank, I had said you would go first. Well, again, let's try to keep very concise. I'm going to keep it to 10 minutes to respect the time of our guests. Hank, go.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. First of all, is the
Or one thing at a time.
asbestos abatement. I'm concerned that you mentioned that you were going to do that first. If you're going to be doing the windows and the doors separately, how will you handle, when you're abating the asbestos over the doors, you're removing the panels that are there. So how's that going to work if you're doing separate, if you need to abate both the windows and the doors, and you're not planning to replace them at the same time?
So the abatement has to be done first. That's a specialized contractor. So the abatement has to be done first, and that is a process of, say, 3 or 4 days per drop, and that's just part of the process. We're going to cover the hole. If we need to put flashing to make it weather tight, we will do that. That's our responsibility, to make it weather tight. And then within days, the doors and windows will be right behind. It's as far as the overall process and the inconvenience goes, I would say the residents are going to see our activity for 2 weeks out of the 4, and they're going to be inconvenienced for, say, 2 weeks out of the 4, because we are going to be in and out a couple times with the protections, with the window and doors, and with the trim work. So they're going to hear noise outside the door when we're taking out the transoms. They're going to hear noise outside the door when we're taking the brick off the window ledges, and then there's going to be people in and out doing the windows and doors. And we're going to certainly keep it to a minimum, and as we go, I'm sure we'll get smoother and faster each drop.
Bob, you had a next question.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it less than 100, but, a few months ago, Kyle mentioned something with the window discussion. He said specific, that and that, no plywood. Okay, it sounds like you're gonna take out something, and then a couple of days later, you're gonna do something else. And meanwhile, we're gonna have our windows open
No, he's.
and nothing there.
The transom for a window.
And I have furniture on the balcony. I have no place to put it. I'm not gonna throw it off the railing, but that's what's okay with the board, I'll do it. But, I don't really, number one, when the guy on the back of the screen there is talking, I can't understand a thing he's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Barbara, you second. Okay, so if the board understands, we're gonna have to know, I have no way, I have nobody right now to remove all my window coverings, furniture, dressers, beds, everything. I don't have anybody to do that. Are they gonna come in and do something, or does the board have any idea? I mean, 2 years ago, we went through this, there was a whole bunch of ideas, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna hang up plywood. And then Kyle says no plywood, if they're gonna take down stuff, they're gonna take out the window the same day and put a new window. Are the old windows gonna come through our apartment to the hallway?
No.
Or are they gonna put them on that platform out there?
So
What are we supposed to expect, and what are we supposed to do? A few months ago, we had a couple of guys here from the big shots.
these are the same guys.
And somebody asked them, how much should we cover up in our apartments? To keep it safe from doing all the digging and drilling and whatever they're doing. And the guy's answer was, well, cover up what you want. Well, I personally want everything in my apartment. It's not a dorm to me. I'm not moving out next semester. So 4 feet isn't gonna do anything if they're gonna start drilling and hammering and whatever the heck they're gonna be doing and cementing and everything else. I want my whole apartment safe. I've been here 47 years and I'm not gonna move. And if I have to throw the balcony and furniture off the railing, then I'll do it. Just tell Bill George to watch out. I don't know. They're not telling us. I can't understand a thing he's saying.
Hey, Bob, so we've covered this over, I don't know how many meetings, but several meetings we've covered it. So the no plywood thing was, there was previously from the previous GM, if windows would be removed and somehow there would be plywood and stuff stuck up in the windows and doors for a duration of time. We've now found out that's not the case. What they are talking about is that the transom, the asbestos transom they have to remove, they're gonna remove that prior to replacing the windows and doors. And that likely is gonna require a plywood facade to keep things from going inside.
Outside.
The outside, it's the transom, you don't even see it from the inside.
So let's clarify hang on, please. The transom. Tell them what the transom is.
Yes, Ginger.
So the
It's a
transom,
panel above the sliding door.
hides behind this, so in your unit, you see this?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Right, on the other side,
Well,
you
not
don't see
everybody
that,
does.
that's the transom.
Okay,
That goes bye-bye, and that's gonna be put on plywood.
okay, fine.
There's not gonna be plywood for your windows and doors. What he's saying is he's gonna replace a window, put a window in, replace a door, put a door in. As far as the 3 to 4 feet away from the windows and doors, everyone's been told from the beginning, that's up to the owner's responsibility to move the things away. They're not gonna do it. Also, the drapes, curtains, whatever the things are, that's all on the owners as well to get rid of. Once you get rid of all those things, they're gonna bring it back, they're gonna put it back the same way they found it. You're just gonna have a new window and door and transom. And as far as plasticking off and everything like that, if you wanna plastic off your whole have at it, Bob. You can plastic off your entire place if you want. They're not gonna do it, and we're all not gonna pay for it.
I don't expect you to pay for it. I like the idea of what they're gonna do, like, are they gonna drag all the old windows through my living room?
It's gonna be done from outside
All outside.
All outside.
The expectation is everything goes out on the out.
and in from the out.
Right.
And
Not the
also,
inside.
one thing we offer, we can't guarantee how much furniture everybody has on each balcony, but it's not a balcony job. We just need stuff moved away from the opening. So if you have a relatively small amount of furniture, I'm sure we can slide it off to the side, so you don't have to throw it off the side. We'll work around it. We just need room to bring about a 6-foot door off the swing stage and set it into the new opening.
Also, don't throw furniture off the stage.
Yeah, no, that's officially declined.
I'll only tell anybody that I did it because I'll wait till midnight.
All right,
Wait,
all right, we have an online person.
Well, there's people with couches on the balcony.
We have a online question. Susan,
Susan?
you have the floor.
Hi, this is Susan Thompson in Unit 1503. And I fully agree with Ginger's comments that we need a day-by-day schedule of what they're going to do. Because frankly, I'm not really certain, if if my door's gonna be taken out, and then 5 minutes later, they're gonna come in with the new door, and it's gonna be all fixed in one day. Or if they're gonna take my door out Monday, say, and I won't get a new door in until Friday. Because it depends on the weather, on whether people are going to be able to stay in their units. If doors or windows or whatever has to come out of the transom, what the weather is like and how cold it is and who you have staying with you at that point as to whether you can stay in your unit during all of that or whether you're going to have to go rent a hotel room.
Our intent, ma'am, is to replace the door in the same day. We're not going to take a door out in January and not protect your unit. So we'll make sure the opening is closed.
Now, will you put that in writing in the papers that you send to the board in the contract?
I believe it's in the contract documents. We have to protect things that we take out. So we are at risk and we're responsible. We're going to be kind of blended with your property for 6 months. We're going to be neighbors and friends. Our crews are used to doing this in occupied space. We've been doing this for 30 years. We're not going to come in and offend anybody, and we're not going to leave anybody hanging. We're going to work very closely with Melina and the board as needed, and we'll take care of things every day to leave a happy client. We understand you are our client. All 200 of you are our client. And
I know, and I'm not trying to be difficult either, but I've worked for architectural firms during my career, and I know that all PMs sound like you guys. Oh, we'll do it in the schedule and you'll see everything. But reality happens and things happen.
Our guys
And
care.
I live by myself now, so I don't want to all of a sudden find out Tuesday, oh my God, I'm going to have holes in my bedroom tonight and tomorrow because the windows aren't in. And me to discover that, it's going to be 40 degrees that evening, and I don't feel that I can stay here by myself in 40-degree weather. And we have to try to start finding a hotel room somewhere then, and things like that. So that's just my concern, is that we just know up front, we're assured that when things get removed, they're going to be replaced, right after that.
Thank you, Susan. I said I would recognize you.
Okay.
Patricia in 312. I have 2 quick questions. One, do we need to remove the window treatments from our windows when you do the inspection?
Oh.
Is that yes or no?
I don't know. Do you need it for the inspection, Anthony?
I would say yes, because the inspection is right
Okay.
before it's being replaced.
Correct.
Your head is yes.
Okay,
Correct.
and then the next question is, for instance, I live on an N unit, so I have the patio and the window beside the patio, then a bedroom window, and then the other bedroom window on the side. Will you be doing all 4 of those at the same time? So I can move, like, if you don't do it at the same time, I can move my living room furniture into the bedrooms, and that way stuff won't get dusty. Then when you finish the balcony, window, and door, then I can move everything into the living room so it won't get dusty Or will you be doing all 4 openings in the wall at the same time?
I think a similar question was asked during the spring meeting, and because you're on a corner unit, there'll be a different drop for the end and a different drop for the other area of your unit. So I think when the question was asked, we agreed to do them at separate times to afford you the opportunity to move stuff.
Okay, great, thank you.
And just FYI, those are 11s, 12s, 4s and 5s.
Eight, don't forget eight.
Oh, and 8s, that's right, because 8s are, yes, of course. We do not have time for 4 more questions. I saw 2 previously, Jed and then Barbara, and then I'll have to release these gentlemen for.
When will the schedule for the tiers be distributed to the owner?
When will the schedule be submitted to the owners is the question.
What will be submitted to the board?
So
The
Well, I
schedule,
have them now, and I'll put them on the bulletin board tomorrow.
Okay, see them before the board?
Truly.
And what if the owners are not here at the time the work is scheduled?
we'll make arrangements for entry. I mean, for this sort of thing, we do have right of entry. I mean, but it would be great to coordinate with people to make sure it's okay. Barbara, last question for this round.
A couple of questions. Number one, is this the type of project that we should be covering the exterior of our HVAC? You know, the vent?
Yeah.
Is one question, and
We'll turn it around.
I don't think that people will be needing their AC, so covering that is an option to help keep dust out, if that's something that's probably advantageous. And the other thing I want
Or
to
you
point.
need heat,
Mhm.
you still need the air for heat.
But you don't need it.
There's not gonna be a lot of dust, but we're responsible for the dust we create. So what we'll put, if you've got one of the units where the AC unit is on the balcony, we'll put a filter fabric over the grill. So if we're working right adjacent with the brickwork.
So you're gonna put a filter over the, if necessary, they'll put a filter over the grim,
Okay,
and that they're responsible for the dust.
Okay, that would be great, thank you. And then this is just a point that has recently come to my attention. And I think this may be an anomaly, but since I've seen it once, I'm gonna mention it. So, I'm in and out of a lot of units in this building, and it's just come to my attention in unit 1514 that the transom in that unit has a ledge on it. On the outside, it actually has a ledge on it, and we are having a terrible problem with birds roosting on that ledge. In fact, it happens to be Alex's unit, which is why I'm looking at him, and he just recently put tack strip up there with the little pointy things to try to keep the birds off. I don't know if there are any other units that have that. It seems weird. Mine is very different. Mine is flush, but I'm hoping that they will all just be flush without that ledge, because I've got to tell you, these birds are just a real nuisance.
I've noticed the birds, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was gonna say, who above me, I'm in a 13, I was gonna say, who above me is letting a bird build their nest up there? So the question on the table is, will the transoms have it, will they be flush? Or are they gonna have, hopefully not have any little ledge or anything?
And if there is one with a ledge, will the new one not have that ledge? Yeah.
Or do you need to check that out on the dimensions on the specs?
I think we'll have to check that out on our shop drawings.
fair enough.
Of course, there's a frame around the sliding door. And the door is in its lower part, and then the upper part is where the transom is. So there's gonna be a frame, and there's gonna be a slight recess where the transom goes. I'm just not sure the exact depth, if it's able for a bird to perch or
Fair enough.
nest.
Fair enough, well, just, take a look and,
And if you need a model to be able to look at what I'm talking about, just jot down 1514 and go take a look at that particular one.
all right.
That, if you guys could let us know exactly what the schedule is going to be. I'm in an 09 tier. Apparently, for some unlucky reason, we're going up first. So I couldn't understand,
Was the question, you need to know the exact duration for the 09 tier?
We're gonna get we don't have a plan. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, we'll get.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like specifically,
Yes.
they would be in this unit.
Yep,
you know,
yes, exactly.
Correct.
kind of low.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, we're working on getting that.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll go ahead and close, owners open forum. I'll go back to, for another one later. We've already, actually, before we continue, folks, just a little housekeeping. I need to ask the unanimous consent of the board to add an agenda item. We didn't have enough time to get through all of our executive session items. So without objection, we're going to insert an agenda item 13.5, which will be a second executive session. Without objection, it is so ordered. Board discussion, we'll get back to the ratification. Is there anything else on the window patio that board wants to mention?
Well, before they get off the phone.
Before they get off.
And I encourage them to get off the phone whenever they're free to, but we should probably do the change request, vote before they leave, so they know that's coming.
Okay. All right, the change order, Ginger, could you remind us what the amount is there, the 100 and something?
No, 97.
97.
97,835.59.
And-
97,835.59.
It's change order 1, by the way.
All right, so this is change order 1 for the contract in the 97,000 amount that, or in change that was just mentioned. This is tariff related, and is there any board discussion or does anyone want to make a motion and reference that exact number?
I think we sufficiently discussed it in executive session, and I move that we pass it.
So Kyle moves, just for the record, to accept the change order 1 in the amount of $97,835.59. She has it on her screen. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye, opposed, no. All right, passes unanimously. And gentlemen, I think we can let you get off the phone now. So we thank you for your time as always, and we look forward to cooperating with you even more so as we approach the time. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
And
Thank you all for your time. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, if you guys want to push info, like there's not a desert over here for info.
More info is better.
Yeah, over communication, we're all about it.
all right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, now to skip back and thank the board's indulgence on this, we do need to ratify 2 things that were taken votes by email in the last several weeks. One of them is not listed here, but so I'll just mention it. So the one that is mentioned here was the garage door operator replacement, which was passed by the email vote on 8/22, August 22nd. Would anyone like to move to ratify that vote that was for the replacement for the so moved by Kyle and Mark, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so it is ratified unanimously. The other one that isn't on the list is to ratify the date change of the special assessment. Those of you who read my monthly letter will see that because of the change of the project timeline, we thought it was only fair to advance the due date, not advance, to push ahead the due date, not advance it, but to make it longer. So the new due date is the last business day of January 2026. And so that vote was passed by email on 8/15. And so would anyone like to make a motion to ratify that motion, that vote? So moved by Kyle, all in favor? Aye, any opposed? Okay, so it is so ratified. So those 2 things, which are number 8 on your agenda, have been
I could
ratified.
comment on that one thing.
Please go.
Like, there's a thing of people thinking like the exemption or the special assessment went away. Didn't go away. It was just giving more time to get it done. So I don't know what the confusion is of people saying the exemption went away, and no, we're just giving people more time. It didn't go away. We're still doing the special assessment. And for all the reasons you just saw, as well as a change 1 request of a project that's yet to even start and already almost $100,000 change. So.
All right, also under board discussion here was special assessment account update. Do we mean, Melina, the town square and the back office stuff from Legum and Norman?
The letter.
And the letter and all that stuff. So what's the status there that we can share?
We did, I have nothing to share, unfortunately. I did email Kristen, who was out sick. And, he said he was gonna reach out to corporate, but I reached out to them this morning and did not receive a response yet.
Okay.
So Christian said at the special meeting that 48 hours after we changed the date, he could make it happen. That was 2 weeks ago. So
I wouldn't promise that when you don't have control over something, so.
I'm not saying I promised it. I'm saying he
No, he
promised
did,
it.
that's what I'm saying. He has no control over it, so he should have found out first.
Who has control over it and
How do we get,
like, how do we influence it? Cause we made this decision in April, we're sitting in August.
Like I said, I emailed them myself and did not receive a response. So I may have to escalate this up to someone above, the accountant.
Please.
Please.
To, see what's taking so long.
Please. Yes, please do, because I know some people, even though it's due later, you know, just to get it out of the way, would like to pay as soon as it's available in Town Square. So, all right, so that'll be taken for a pending an update, pending a follow-up there. Kyle, did you want to talk about the garage door question while we're here?
Yeah, so before I got on the board, there was a survey done. It was the year before I got on the board, and there was the discussions and a lot of I remember, and keep in mind, memory is, you know, the whole thing, it's all fleeting to all of us that are older. Fast closing garage doors and key fobs and things of that thing were number one. Number two, everyone wanted to devote all resources and everything to doors and window replacement, which we are on already on a thing. I think now we have to get back to replacing that. So we had a broken garage door, as everyone knows, since last week. It got fixed today. Thanks to Melina for getting that all executed. But we're doing this at several $1,000s a door, and we're really not replacing the door. We're not replacing its mechanism. We're not replacing its capability. We're just replacing the fact that it works. And we're doing it at several $1,000s. So what I would like to do is go out and resolicit and get some quotes for doing fast closing doors that, you know, don't take several minutes. They're not, you know, jinkety. They're very efficient. If you see other condos around here, they already have them. And also go to a key fob access in order to improve safety and security of our facility. You know, we had a murder just feet away from where we're sitting right now, and that person could have likely just run inside the building without anything. And so I think it's a priority we should start looking at and start budgeting for. The way that we did the budget with Ginger, and she's awesome with the budget, is you know, we still made it to a point where we had to do a special assessment and make a special assessment to the lowest degree impacting the associates, as well as making sure we can still properly execute, maintain, and promote improvements for the facility. I think this is one of the things that we can promote. So I don't really have anything to stand on with numbers, but I think it's something that we would ask people to start, or maybe ask Melina, I don't know, whoever at League of Norman, to go out and get us quotes for options for improving our garage doors and our building access.
Yes, here.
and how do we assist? Melina, please let us know how we can assist you in developing requirement statements. And ahead of time, you know, we're wanting 3 quotes if possible, or those regular things that we normally do. But if you need any support in developing the requirement statement, please let us know so we can assist you.
Itemized quotes.
All right.
It's gonna come up later.
Melina, you had asked that we accelerate the swimming pool contract to number 10 on the agenda. Would you like to just talk briefly about that, the swimming pool renewal contract and the escalation there?
Yeah, so it's actually not a renewal. They just, was stating that there is an increase in the current contract of $776.16 due to, the minimum wage rate.
So that's under this current year contract.
I have to go back and look at that. I didn't have time because I thought we already plugged that in.
I thought it was already done. I thought their bid was for next year, which I thought was an early to ask, because they're asking for a contract for starting in May 2026. And here we are in August 2025.
So that's what I'm saying. This is just like an addendum to a current contract.
Oh, I didn't read that as an addendum. I read it as a renewal.
I had to ask him about it, and he
Okay.
said that simply just let us know it's an increase that we're already in contract.
Oh, so it's just,
There's no difference in price.
No, it's a,
No,
It's an
it's an
escalation.
increase of 7.
it's a year over year.
Why is it then?
I'm not,
Is it just a heads up thing? Or-
yeah, that's all it is. That's why I was telling you in advance that I made it,
Got it.
it's not a contract, it's just to inform us of the increase come January.
Oh,
But I thought we already, that's why I have to get back on you.
Yeah, I
'cause
think you have
thought
to get back
the
with them, 'cause-
The budget part, we were talking about the minimum wage increase, if I'm not mistaken.
We did factor that in. However, what they're looking at in their whole pay scale, it seemed like a whole new project that we start owing them, the initial payment in January, and then we start like putting pumps a lot of money in May. So I would ask for two things. One is the current thing seems like a new contract proposal. I'd like to understand if that is a new contract proposal, because that's what it seems like. Two, can we get other contract proposals? Because once again, it's a one quote, one tier thing. There's other companies out there. Can we get other quotes? While they're under contract today, if we have to do a contract increase, can we identify anything that we might have to repair likely before next pool season in order to avoid what we had to do this year, which was unexpectedly, we had to spend about $6,000 on caulking and other things like days before the pool was opening. I'd like to know, are we walking into that going into next season? Can we do that over the winter? Or is this something, hey, everything's good, barring anything weird over the winter, you guys should be good to go for the spring? Or should it be, you should plan for this, and this in the spring before opening? That way it's not another,
Surprise.
a surprise to all of us, which I think this year wasn't a surprise to all of us.
so at the end of the season, does he or the contract people come by and take a look and do this kind of assessment? At the end of the year,
Do they come assess?
do they come assess? So they can-
Before the season, yes, they come out to see.
At
No,
the
at
end of
the
the year.
end, like, let's say, as of what, the second?
Oh, no,
Okay.
no, because things
But
happen.
there's a closeout. though.
Well, yes, for the closeout.
There's a
They come through
closeout, though, right?
And say,
There is a closeout inspection, that's when they winterize everything,
that's fine.
but they come back because over the winter, things do happen.
okay.
So that's
Okay.
where Kyle was talking about the surprise.
But before the closeout or during the closeout, if they look at it and go, that's probably gonna be a problem for you in 3 months.
You wanna know what it is.
Probably wanna have an idea if that's gonna be a problem for us up front, so we can start properly budgeting.
Mhm.
Rather than just, hey, you wanna open the pool on Monday, but it's Thursday, and guess what? You have a $6,000 bill to open the pool.
All right, we next up have a proposal from Fate Mechanical to address the compressors on the roof.
I got a shit ton of questions on this,
Okay.
pardon my French.
Dorian,
How does acid get in the compressor?
I'm sorry.
How does acid get into a compressor? And has Faith Mechanical articulated how that happens? Acid.
it's a troubleshoot of both units, determine both A circuits are full of acid. Yeah,
I have to ask David about that,
Okay, so here's my issue with their estimate, and I appreciate their estimate, but I have a metric ton of questions, and I'll just go with the high ones. One is, how does acid get in the compressor? And it can't be a fluke thing because it's on two of them. So clearly there's something. What is the something and how do we solve that? And by replacing the compressors, does that solve the problem, or does that just extend the problem and make it a long thing or, problem issue? Also, is it better to, acid in a compressor doesn't sound good. Probably sounds like we should probably get it out, get the acid out, which is a labor rate, which they don't itemize on their bill, which I'll get to. But two, should we just get the acid out now and do it again before heat season starts? Or do we need the compressors to support heat in the winter? Because right now we're going into the cool season, and I don't know if we want to pump almost $50,000 into supporting AC efforts for something that we're gonna stop using AC for in the coming weeks or months.
I did a quick research on that, and it's pretty much how you identify the refrigerant. So I guess over a period of time, you have to flush that out, and you just call it acid refrigerant. The acid, flushing the compressor is typically acid refrigerant. The acid is formed due to chemical reaction, moisture, excessive heat, contaminants, or other impurities within the refrigerant circuit. So that's what that is.
So that's a colloquial industry term for acid, not actually acid by definition. So one, can give us an itemized bill, and then two, can we get other quotes? Because we only have one quote from one company, and it's not itemized. It just says, pay me $48,094.
It is, they do tell us it's 24 something per unit times 2 units, but yeah, I'm with you. It's not itemized.
That's what it costs.
Cheap.
You wanna table this pending?
I want to table it. I want
Has the
more.
work been done, or we need the
No,
work?
no, this is an estimate.
What's the damage going on to the unit if we wait for an itemized bill to get it done? What else could go wrong? And what else, how many other units do we have that could be going wrong? That we'll have no units if we don't get this done? Like, what is the cost of not taking action?
So I know there is a problem, I can't get my direction together, I call it the C area, but it's, so you know, when you get off the elevator, you go to the right, that unit has been, shutting down often. And it's been an issue where he had to troubleshoot with it quite frequently, so that's when he went up there and looked at both units just to see how they're functioning. Because we don't have proper in-house pre-maintenance going on with that unless we have an issue, then we call Dave and say, there's a problem with the unit, can you go up there on the roof and look at it? So this is his findings, and this is what was not done. Just like the regular units that we have, it should always be, the coils and so forth should be clean and filters should be done. So that is something, unfortunately, we don't have someone that's trained to do that.
Well, also, apparently, they offered a PM contract in January. I was on the board in January. We all were, and it never came to us.
PM
Preventive maintenance.
for the unit on the roof?
Yeah, that's what you're telling me. This is
That's something.
well, then can we get them on a PM contract to
Okay.
prevent preventive maintenance is always, you get your biggest bang for buck with it. So yes, one understand the exact things here of, hey, can we get rid of the acid now? Do we really have to place it now? Or can we wait till the summer kicks back up and like do this something like in March instead of now? And B, can we do some kind of preventative maintenance in order to prevent said things from reoccurring in the future? And then also, this is 2 of one side, there's 2 on this side, I believe. And what's the status of those? And are we looking at something like this next year for that? So it just, I don't know, I just want more quotes and I want itemized bills, and that's my biggest, I hate getting one quote with nothing itemized. Just pay me this money and these are the things I'm gonna do for you.
So that one, just FYI, that was the garage that we talked about, so I did present.
Same with this one.
No, the PM,
Oh, okay,
yeah, so that was the garage, and I didn't present it because we were talking about change, so.
okay, yeah,
All right.
we'll do that for garage too.
All right, so this is tabled pending some questions. Next up, we've already done the swimming pool discussion. Next up is this issue Chadwick, Washington, and just FYI, this is not a person that we're talking about. Probably was at some point, but more or less, there's a particular collection account which Reese Broom can't handle because of a potential conflict of interest. And so this proposal from the law firm of Chadwick, Washington, essentially the question they're asking us is whether or not we want to retain them at all, on the retainer basis, which was 1,800 per year. And then the benefit of the retainer is that you get reduced hourly rates if you go over. And then whether we want them to be our registered agent, I don't think we want them to be our registered agent because we already have a registered agent. But the question is, do we want to retain them for this purpose? And if so, on a retainer or non-retainer basis, or if board members want to discuss in more granular detail, we could also punt this to executive session as well. If we want to talk generally about it, we could talk about it in open. If we want to talk in detail, we could go to executive. Does anybody have a feeling?
So on the revised packet, I only approved based on the executive session, the outcome of executive session.
Okay.
So I prefer that.
Okay, so we can talk about the underlying, the predicate matter. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. That brings us then to the management report. Summary and financials, just FYI, before I turn the floor over to Melina, the board has, because I know that some people have been asking me about this, and it is something that affects us all. Legaman Norman offered us a concession, if you want to call it that, of only in the $3,000 range for the lost interest that we had on all those reserve funds that were not deposited in time. The board's view was that that was an insufficient gesture and that we have declined it and are reserving all rights regarding that topic. And so that's just sort of where it stands in terms of that, because I know we do get questions on that. So no further update on that other than that the board decided not to accept that offer. So all right, management summary, financials, board questions there too. All right, anything that hasn't been brought up already? What's up?
So only thing that, that's recent is the Orkin project, so that's gonna take place, next week, September the 3rd. I have not had opportunity to email the residents, I'll do that tomorrow, that's affected by that. There is a follow-up visit on the 10th and the 17th of September.
Okay.
They call it industrial, so that's, the treatments that they're gonna do. And we're gonna have to pull in-house maintenance to move any appliances that will be required.
And is that covered under, on your report, just reading from it, a proposal was presented for consideration to provide general pest control services for the community. I haven't seen a report, but you're referring to
You
the
haven't-
report.
No, this just the 5 units, so
I'm
they,
just saying you've seen it.
yes,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
yeah. I separated that because that's not what our goal is.
Okay.
Unless you tell me to go and get bids for that service.
No, you already got bids for it and Orkin came back, so that's fine.
All right. Any other questions on financials management report?
Yeah, so for parking, we're talking about, hey, we're putting everything on hold because of the window and door project. I think we leveraged the window and door project and why we need to address the parking. So initially, the window and door project, they were requesting 8 parking spots, and I hear now it's up to 18. That's like half the back lot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have parking problems. It might be best to get on the parking issue right now and get it resolved and get rid of all these multiple tags, multiple visitor things and all that prior to the project in order to diminish the impact there. We're gonna have an impact no matter what, but 18 parking spots, I mean, that's a lot. So I don't think we put that on hold. I don't know that we have to solve it or address it tonight. I just want to voice that we probably need to solve it and address it prior to October or November.
So I'd like to follow up about the spaces that we're going to lose. I called the library and they're willing to allow 10 residents to park in the lot. So I'm gonna get special tags for that so that they know those are the residents that are authorized to park in that space. The 8, I think we have enough space, possibly up front or something like that for 8 people. If I can talk to them, and that's due to their schedule, training and so forth, book sales that they're looking for. If I can talk them into a few more spots, I'll do that. But right now they're allowing us 10 spots on their back parking lot near the drugstore.
But, and that's nice, and I really appreciate that, but I just think we have to get after salt. We don't have to go to the electronic thing, maybe go to a different sticker thing, get rid of the visitor tag thing, whatever we gotta do, but I think we gotta do something. And I don't think waiting till the window and door project is complete is sufficient amount of time to just get things done. In the interest of the entrance front pavers, we said we're, hey, waiting for confirmation from a contractor. How many bids have we gotten from the contractor? How big's the problem? I went out, walked multiple times the last couple days, and I haven't really found too many wobbling pavers.
So I have to show you the area. It's really sunken, like when you go to the corner of, when you come out the door and go left, immediately you can see the indentation, and when you walk on it, the paper's actually.
Okay, I'm not refuting the fact that it's an issue. I'm just saying, where are our bids? 3 quotes, itemized bills. What are we doing to solve it? We just can't keep doing this. This is the person we always use. They always treat us right and we're gonna pay. We're not paying market average anymore. The garage door, we paid $60 more an hour for the freaking labor than market average. And we kinda got put over a barrel because we had to get it fixed. Last one was timer installed on the loading dock for the lights. That's great. Where else can we do that? I think we can do it like with the gym. I think we can do it with the hallways. the bathrooms, like, I think there's a lot of other places we can do to shut down and make it motion sensor to where, you know, most of the building, you know, there's not people in the hallways at 1 o'clock in the morning. So can we put the hallways on motion sensors and try to minimize our electricity in that way as well as the stairwell? The stairwells are lit up all the time. The only time we use them is when the fire alarm goes off.
I use them every day.
Well, I think
Well, I'm a fat guy. I take the elevator. Sorry.
Don't talk about us not, the people that do, a lot of us use the.
I apologize.
all the
I
time.
apologize. I don't take the stairwell.
We'd have to check if the stairwell is a fire code issue. It
I
has to
think
be, maybe it has to be illuminated. Yeah.
I think that's a
So what
code
is-
issue.
The building.
Oh, just to have
I
it.
think it's be lit while you're in it. You don't have to be lit while you're not in it.
That makes me nervous.
It does too, makes me nervous too.
So what I was hoping, which haven't happened yet, but I was hoping that I would have a new in-house person that may be capable of doing that. So I was kind of waiting to see what I would get, and I would cut a cost. Although we have a budget for it, I never know what may happen with any breakers or whatever, so I just kind of held off on it for the other area. And just did that because that was, I guess, became annoying to me when I opened that door and the lights are burning and that switch was broken. So I looked at that as a violation. And I didn't know down the road if it would spark anything, so I said, hey, just put a timer on there because no one really walks through here after 4:30 when it's closed down.
Yeah, and I don't want to come across as accusatory or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, that's an advancement. Where else can we have advancements? I
Yeah.
think there's others. And then the last one I have is for the pool. You break everything down, it makes really good sense. But you had the weekend schedule hours, but you have dates. I think you mean days, not the hours. Just so when we put the notice out to all the association, it's, you know, it's the 6th and 7th September, it's the 13th to 14th September, it's the 20th and 21st September, but it all says hours, not days. So I just think we have to tell them, it's open on the weekends. Normal hours apply.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
And that was all my comments on that one.
All right. All right, we're gonna, unless there's anything else, we're gonna go ahead and reopen owners forum. And it is 8:22. There are folks who are Barbara and then Alex. Go ahead.
Again, Barbara Rose, and a couple of quick questions. Number one, do we have the delinquency rate? Will we ever have it again? Did we get monies from the foreclosure for 311? Did, you know, have we been paid back for that? And number two, what is the cost of the rodent abatement situation, Oregon? You know, we waited, the management waited 7 months to jump on that. And it's hard for me to, you know, I've been intimately involved with this, including having to dump the mice. When the office hasn't been open and evidence hasn't been available. I don't believe that it's just one unit that's being affected at this point. And it hasn't been one unit being affected. And I think we know, you know, that mice breed. So look, financial questions.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that we just recently accelerated that because it was within Melina's spending authority. But Melina, do you happen to know how much that costs? I knew it was within your limit, so it didn't come to the board for a specific meeting, a specific vote. Yeah.
Yeah, well, while Melina looks that up, I would push back that we've taken action immediately. We didn't wait 7 months to do stuff. We've been doing everything within our purview, what was available at the time, and throughout the time to execute things. We didn't just sit there and wait.
It started in March.
I get that, but also we weren't allowed by the court to do anything with that property because it was their property. We had to get a court order from a judge.
So again, I say, if it had been a broken valve, no one would have gone in to turn off the water.
Well, that's not what you said. Again, I say, like you said, your last statement. Previously, you haven't. What I'm saying is, we did everything legally we were allowed to do as soon as we were allowed to do it. We weren't waiting. And we even, Ginger and I put even more money into the freaking thing because we wanted to get after it even more. So nobody here sat on their hands and waited for this problem to get worse. We executed everything we could. And I don't want to speak for anybody here on your terms, but I'm speaking for myself. We jumped on it immediately. We had multiple we had text calls. we had voting, we had all the things we did. So any expectation or any perception that we sat for months waiting, no, we sat for hours. And
I think maybe once you understood the scope of the problem, but
we
that
weren't
was
allowed
not,
in the unit.
that was not an immediate situation. And I guess then we need to understand as residents, when there's an emergency that impacts the health and safety of us.
The courts did not view mice as an emergency.
Well, when did we ask the court to take action? That wasn't until months later, right?
Yeah.
No, we were told we weren't allowed to go in there and do anything, touch any of their property.
Until they got approval.
Right.
But I think maybe what Alex is intimating, and if I'm misrepresenting Alex, please correct me, which is, you know, the time from the beginning of the problem until that March, because it's, the mice may have been working their wiles over the winter and early spring. And spring came around and the breeding season and hotter, warmer weather and those sorts of things. So, I mean, maybe a distinction without a difference, I'm not sure, but is that kind of what you were getting at, is the elapsation of time between the start of the problem and when we became aware of the whole requirement for the court order and all that, as opposed to the time that's elapsed since then? Is that?
No,
Not, okay, please correct. Please correct.
Sitting right here,
Yeah.
and she can address it.
So-
She was down in the office with regularity saying, I've got issues, there are mice in my bed. So.
I-
I wrote you a letter. I got the feeling, Melina was not believing me. That this woman is crazy. She's dead now. But no one can imagine what I went through for 15 years with this woman. And I knew I knew where the mice were coming from. I knew it. Listen to me. Go in. And then when the exterminator, Ed English, finally went in, he came out and he was white as a ghost. He said, all I can say is this is a massive breeding ground. We've got to get on it. And that's when the door opened. But it took weeks for that to happen. Precious weeks. And and the mice are having
A field day. And
Yeah.
I am not, I acknowledge everything you just said. I'm just saying, everything that came to us, we immediately acted on it. There was no delay. Nobody was delaying on
The
anything.
residents have to understand, when one person comes, I send an exterminator to your unit. He came into your unit and identified what needed to be plugged in. That to this day has not been done on your part. However, when other units came to me and said they had a unit, they had an issue, that's when I said, we have a problem because that floor is now having an issue. And that's when I communicated to the board. And that's when I had the exterminator come on a weekly basis to address the matter.
So Carol didn't have enough credibility with
It
mice.
has nothing to do with credibility, Carl. Don't push it like that. It has nothing to do, and I don't like the fact that you're saying that I'm thinking you're crazy. That's not the fact. I have to go by volume to know whether or not there's something that I need to enter to another unit. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know. I did.
Yeah,
I told you.
unequivocally.
But I can't just walk in there because you say walk in there.
You have the legal right.
Did later on. I did not. You did. Because I got permission. Order. Because I got permission. Do you understand that? I don't have to say every little detail to you. I act on it when you ask me and you have a problem, then I try to figure it out and I act on it. That's what I did. I'm sorry it didn't happen on your terms.
I want to give an opportunity for Alex, because Alex, I attempted to characterize your words and I maybe didn't do so accurately. So I want to acknowledge that and give you the opportunity to correct anything I said was wrong, and you were also next on the list to talk anyway, so. Apologize if I
The
fumbled.
board was finished, but I will say, I think my question for the board was, it sounds like there was an early report of an issue, and that was it March, April, May?
March the end of March, I saw my first mouse.
And it
And
seems like,
Patricia had seen it the week before.
it seems like things exacerbated from that time until finally later in the summer when Hallmark actually requested a court order. So, I mean, it does seem like there was maybe a pretty significant lag there, and that's concerning because of other issues here in the building that affect multiple unit owners as well. So that's my comment, but Barbara, I don't know if you had finished with what you were trying to say.
Oh, I just hadn't gotten answers. The cost of all of the
Okay.
remediation and our delinquency rate. If we'll, ever see it again, I don't know. And did we get the monies from the sale of 311 that were owed to Hallmark?
No, we did not.
Is that the one that's out?
Is that ruled out? I mean, is that, okay, got it. Okay, so
But I do think that we're entitled to know about
Yeah,
it.
we
Delinquency
absolutely are.
rates.
That's the financial
Yeah.
association.
I don't think we're not sharing it, so we haven't been provided. This is legal normal. This is again, the issue we have with legal normal.
I think
We don't have financials to share, I share
indeed, yeah, so delinquency rate, I know Christian's not well, do we have part of what, if I may, is that we haven't really agreed on, well, I think I know what it is, but how to calculate the delinquency rate is the first question, because we have like multiple different definitions that are going around, and so I think the first thing is, when Christian references a rate, we have to all agree that we're speaking the same language, or else it's irrelevant. If he says 2% and it's based on some other thing, it's irrelevant. Kyle looks at it and says it's
I don't.
18.
Maybe we can just find out what he means by 2%, because we've had a delinquency rate for many, many, many years. And the meaning was really very clear. In fact, I sent you an email with the definition of that. It's pretty basic stuff.
I feel that I'm pretty clear on it. It should be the dollar amount divided by the total amount due to us, and that is the amount that is delinquent.
I think we're all clear, legal norm is not clear, nor are they communicating, we don't know the financials from June. Or July, or right now in August.
Can the board hold them accountable then?
We're trying,
We're
very frustrated.
we're part of the reason we're gonna have a second executive session is to discuss some of these frustrations. Carol, then Patricia, and then.
So we do have someone online, but I want to answer a question.
Okay, the amount.
Question. So it's $2,125 for 5 units.
Oh, Alex, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I thought that I was.
Yes, sorry, yeah. No, I recognize him to clarify the record, but he was also next in
Oh,
in line, so apologies.
we do have one person online.
Okay.
My question is for the board with the almost $100,000 in additional cost now on the window project. I thought the board represented to the association members that if we went ahead and signed a contract, that would lock the price. It would insulate us against tariff increases. But clearly it didn't. I'm extremely concerned if the board reviewed the contract, signed off on it, and we had legal counsel review and advise, and they were supposed to be protecting our interest. If no one caught that, and now the owners are on the hook for another $100,000, is that coming out of reserves, or are we increasing special assessments now? Where is that $100,000?
No, so that baked into our cost estimate, we baked in a risk management. Ginger and I baked in a percentage, and we were not even less than, we're just slightly less than a quarter of what we baked in for risk. So yes, we reviewed the contract, yes, legal reviewed the contract, yes, we had that thing, yes, they had in the contract. The tariffs could be a thing, and that's why I asked them the question that I asked when we started the whole meeting about the tariffs. So no, the nearly $100,000 not being transferred to the association or the owners is already baked into the contract, and that's why we take the approach we took. So we took a very sound, conservative, and solid approach for financing this project, and that's the reason why we actually went to the special assessment.
And the special assessment already includes like
Yes.
$400,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cost overrun.
Yes.
Risk
reserve.
Risk reserve, yeah.
And if we don't have $400,000 in additional cost, that money will go into the regular reserves for the HOA then?
Correct.
It'll stay.
It stays in the
Yeah, it
reserves.
needs to be taken. I wanna, there was an order, so Carol, there was somebody online, Patricia, and, yeah, and we're,
Way over.
okay, very, very brief, because we're over limit, I know so if we can be just super concise, please. And no one beyond those 4, please, it was me, Carol, Patricia, and somebody online, and that's it.
That's 30 people.
Well,
I think now is a great time to, again, the exterminator, Ed English told me maybe
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, that, there's a huge hole underneath the kitchen sink, and I am still getting mice.
In 311.
In 311, a huge hole. And when the condo went up for sale, I took a look on it, and it is. So what he did in the past was he threw a lot of chemicals down there, but that hole needs to be closed, totally, treated and closed. And it's a lot larger than a baseball. So that's probably where I'm getting my mice now.
I mean, that is,
We've got new owners. How are we gonna do it?
yeah, I mean,
In a timely manner.
that's a tricky one because, I mean, with the new owners, they're not resident, they're non-resident, right? They may be investors who are, we've never met them. And they're investors. And so is it admittedly a little bit more difficult, even if you can imagine that, because it's their house. I mean, and so they have to be held to.
Can we issue a letter?
Yeah, we'll just say,
This, and this.
please. Yeah, I would just say it's been brought to our attention that, so if we could just,
Communicated with them, they have not responded back to my email.
Have you sent them that letter?
What letter?
Comment is referencing, a letter to them saying, here's what's going on.
This is just
and
one up. I'm telling you what I did prior to this meeting.
so we can send another communication saying.
And it's pretty
being
easy
stronger.
because just say, this will appear on your condo resale package as being a rodent infestation and must be repaired. It's basically a health and an architectural violation. So there's no mystery on how to get this one done either.
Just do a letter.
Yeah, just a, I mean,
The place is for sale. I don't think they want people to know it's a rat hill.
okay,
If we have to put a piece of
Who's
photo,
next?
put
Who's-
nails in it.
I think next was Patricia.
I have a question to Melina about the dates that the working people are coming, the 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th. Do you know if it's a morning? Yes, they will arrive here at 9 a.m. So what unit they go to, I don't know yet. And then also, is it Evan that'll come and move the refrigerator? So each time they'll have to come and help move the refrigerator every time they come, or?
So the follow-up, he'll probably so,
Okay.
cause it depends on where he placed the trap, so on the, when he does the dust meeting, put, the chemicals behind the wall. Yeah, and he will place traps, new traps in there, their own traps in there. That's what the follow-up visit is, to make sure they're, and just to check to see if there's any evidence from the treatment.
Online question.
Justin?
Yes, hi. Justin 612. It's a pretty quick question. I was just wondering what happened with the hot water check on the 12th tier. If there's gonna be progress on that, because it took about 12 minutes for me to get hot water in my shower when David was here, and it'd be nice to save some money if we could get that fixed.
David did look, so I'll let Melina.
Yeah, so we will revisit that. We looked at the riser and kind of relocated that line, but apparently did not work. Because when we went to the 12th floor after we did that, it took 12 minutes for the bathtub to get hot, but the vanity instantly got hot. So in between all of that's on my plate right now, I do plan to revisit that tier to do that testing again to see how long it takes in each location. But I think one of the things that he mentioned was that sometimes someone's diverter can cause an issue to the other units that's above or below. But again, I'm gonna revisit this project with David again when we have an opportunity to go into each unit.
Sure, and thanks. And one other thing, I just wanted to see if the board is planning to meet in November and December. I think I brought this up last year, but I hope there can be a meeting scheduled given the project. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't want to speak in advance, but you know, since the project will be in full swing by then, we'll probably, you know, have to have a meeting in early December between the two holiday season, the holiday season. So likely, I would say, given the nature of it. And last but not least,
I propose that on each floor, I'm talking about the windows and doors now, I would be happy on the 6th floor to help with figuring out, and I know Bob is quite concerned about this, about the, you know, moving the furniture away, the blah, 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 all those different aspects to when we go into the different tiers. Or I could do the 7th tier. I'm on the 7th tier, but what I mean is I think on each floor, we could identify people that would help out with people that maybe are not able to do these things. I may even hire someone myself to do it for me. Don't forget that part. But I'd be willing to do it. I think it would be very advantageous for people in the building to help one another because this may be difficult for some people to move furniture.
Like be neighborly?
The trends, all that stuff. I mean, I'm willing to do it on the 6th floor. Let's put it that way. Or the 7th tier. I don't know how you want to work it.
Well,
thank you. Very briefly.
Okay. One, Joe Gaines has a.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
And he has been willing to help people do anything they want, take it to the doctor, whatever, move stuff. And I was thinking of talking about him because 3 years ago, he jokingly told me after a meeting, I'll help you get your crap out of the way for the windows, but then the window stuff got trans.
Okay. Yeah,
But Joe has got the ad there, and I'm definitely gonna ask him to help, even if I have to pay, because I can't do it myself.
Well, Joe has surgery on his shoulder, so I don't think his.
Oh, that's right.
That's part of your.
Well, you know,
What is what it is. We have, one is a Facebook page, 2, put something up on the bulletin board. I think everyone's gonna help everybody help themselves.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help people. I just don't want the expectation to be the association's paying contractors to do the things for which we're all independently responsible.
Well, they made that clear 3 years ago, Kyle.
Right.
all right.
But we still get the same butt.
All right, so owners forum is closed and we'll now take a motion to return to executive session. Would anybody like to move that? So moved by Ginger, all in favor, say aye. Aye, passes unanimously, and we'll re-enter executive session. Believe it or not, it's 8:42.